I first knew Sondheim as a lyricist when my high school did a production of West Side Story and I was in the cast. I was one in a long line of gay Tonys.
So the first time I heard his music was in the movie Stavisky. I didn't like the movie very much, but I've never forgotten the opening credit, the opening theme.
I do remember West Side Story and becoming first aware of him as a lyricist, as an amazing lyricist.
The first time I became aware of Stephen Sondheim was when Judy Collins recorded Send in the Clowns.
I remember as a kid hearing Send in the Clowns.
The song that I was aware of, like so many people, was Judy Collins' cover of Send in the Clowns.
I can't remember exactly what age I was, but I know it was a little light music.
I think it was 1970, and my brother and several of my friends were listening to Company, and we were just all kind of blown away.
My folks also had the cast album of Company, and listening to it in the car, which is a strange thing to be doing with your parents, but
I was about 9 or 10 years old, and listening to A Funny Thing Happened on the way to the Forum.
Well, I went to the opening run of Forum with my mom when I was 13.
The first time I performed any Stephen Sondheim was in middle school. I was in a chorus. We just all fell in love with Stephen Sondheim. And it was sort of Ben Britton and Stephen Sondheim were the pantheon for us.
Generally, I don't like musicals.
But I am a note guy all the way, and the reason I love this music is the notes. The notes are great.
The thing about Sondheim's music that I love is the layers.
Steve's stuff is it integrates so many different things in the service of character.
With Sondheim, you hear stories you haven't heard before.
Certainly, it's because of him that I thought, wow, we still have a lot of stories to tell on the lyric stage.
And I feel that for me, as far as American serious vocal music, that he's the man.
It's very, very smart music that's not trying to make a point of how smart it is
Accessible and yet remarkable.
You know, I came up at a time when tonal music was not in at all. And Sondheim's music to me was an exploration of what was still possible in the tonal world.
I mean, I consider him a giant. It's an elemental force.
His influence is so far-reaching that sometimes people aren't even really aware that it's there.
And I think that in the case of Stephen Sondheim, a lot of composers who are not writing show music have an enormous regard for him because they can hear and see and understand that this is a great artist.